Stephanie Bain, I have a books. I'm a book. There's so many books. Hello everyone, I'm secretly dying over here like I can't breathe for some reason. No, I can breathe, I just can't stop like coughing or whatever. I'm straight chilling in my chair talking to you guys, but today's video is going to be a discussion on why not all books are, for me, rated equally. And what I mean by that is not all 5 stars are for the same reason, not all 3 stars are for the same reason, not all 4 stars are for the same reason, so on and so forth. I have rated books 3.5 stars and thoroughly enjoyed it, would recommend it, but I did have issues with it. And then I've rated a book that's 3 stars and I'm like, what the heck was going on here? And all I mean by that is I am someone who, when reading a book, I can still acknowledge that while I thoroughly enjoyed it, there was a lot of issues, or while I seriously hated it, it was still beautifully written, or there was something beautiful about it. I'm not one of those people that, because I hate it, everything is wrong with it. No, because I dislike something doesn't mean it's automatically going to be a 1 star or a 2 star. And just because I absolutely love a story, it doesn't always mean it's going to be a 5 star. And even if I didn't absolutely love it and it's my favorite book, doesn't mean it won't be a 5 star. A perfect example of this, and I think it'll help make more sense, is The Third Twin by C.J. Omololu, the book I was talking about. Loved it. This book was everything I thought it would be. It was so good. Kept me on the edge of my seat, so on and so forth. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. But it's not like my all-time favorite book. While I will reread this in the future and I will recommend it, it's not one of those like, oh my god, I like what type of books. And another perfect example is We Know It Was You by Maggie Thrash. I adore this book. I love this book. I've screamed it from the rooftops, not literally, but figuratively. Booktubing wise, I have. Because it's also a mystery. It was everything this book was when you separate them, you know what I mean, right? Like, they both had everything that they needed, but this one I feel went that extra mile. There was characters I related to. There was a crazy plot that, while I wasn't expecting it, was perfectly just like given to you on a platter. And it was just more. It was everything and more. But the same thing also happens with books that are 3 stars. You know, I've talked about that. And really, I'm just curious if you guys do the same thing. Or are you those people who, while you really enjoyed it, because it's not like your all-time favorite, you'll knock it down a star and give it a 4 instead of a 5? Or if you absolutely hated something about the book that kind of ruined the whole experience, are you someone who can't acknowledge that maybe there was a good plot, or maybe there was one good character, or the writing was beautiful while everything else was shit? Like, what kind of person are you? I flat out, I read it, I enjoy it, and I rate it according to my little, you know, like, setup that I have for reviewing books, my world building, my plot and the writing and the characters, and how the way like the story is kind of like formed and how the story is told. Those are my 5 things I look for when I'm rating. And if it meets all of those criteria and I felt really good at the end of reading it and I thoroughly enjoyed it, 5 out of 5 stars. I don't know why I feel like this is kind of hard to explain, because the thing is it can just keep going. It's so vast, like the explanation for this can kind of mushroom out, but like all I'm trying to say is, for me, not all ratings are equal. Just because they're 2 5 stars doesn't mean they're my absolute favorite books. It just means I thoroughly enjoyed it. I accepted everything that it had. And just because a book's a 2, well, not a 2, 2 is usually because I really didn't like it. If it's a 3 star, it doesn't mean that I didn't like it. It doesn't mean that I absolutely hated it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right in the middle. I could thoroughly love a 3 star book, but I just had issues with it that I wish would have been fixed. I think that was slightly better. In here, he's kind of like hidden, but it's a doggy. Doggy. Anyway, let me stop being random. That is my discussion for today. And all I want to know, what I'm asking you guys is, how do you rate books on the same scale. Are all 5 stars for you all of your favorite books? Are all 3 stars mediocre? Do you knock off a star or a portion of a star because you didn't truly obsess over it? Because I know that sometimes people say 5 stars for their absolute favorites, but I'm just curious where you lie on the spectrum of stars, and how are all pretty much saying, are all of your star ratings very equal? Are all the 3 stars very similar feeling towards against? Are all of your 5 stars very similar in the sense of, oh my god, I'm absolutely obsessed with it, it was perfection type thing? If you have any confusion, just ask me, because I don't know if it's just me, but I think I'm getting myself confused right now. I'm still publishing this video though. But I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm just super curious because this book got me thinking, like, you're not my all-time favorite book, but you're still a 5-star. That's for sure. So I'll see you guys in my next video, and goodbye. Sorry, I tapped my tripod there.